The family drama for the Beckhams keeps heating up, and at this point, it might be spicier than Succession, between Brooklyn and his wife Nicola reportedly being slighted for a birthday dinner with David, to the couple skipping his party altogether. New York Post editor-at-large Sarah Nathan is here to catch us up on the Beckham blunder. What's going on?
I mean, first of all, I can't believe we didn't just mention the Spice Girls. We didn't bring that in. It is an unholy mess, Brian. We have got basically two families at war at the moment. It's all kicked off because of the now infamous wedding from Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz, now Nicola Peltz Beckham, back in April 2022 in Palm Beach. Nicola Peltz, as you'll remember, is the daughter of Nelson Peltz, the billionaire, the man behind Wendy's, the man who tried to take over Disney, and his wife Claudia. We had a huge issue at the wedding because Nicola failed to wear Victoria Beckham's wedding dress that she designed for her.
Wow.
So that was where it all really started. Then we had the issue that Nelson Peltz, after the wedding, launched a legal action against the wedding planners. So it's been bubbling under the surface for the last few years. Now, over the last year, what we've seen is Brooklyn and Nicola really not turning up to the Beckham's family events. Every time Victoria does an event in Paris, she always does her fashion line. She always has Anna Wintour, and she has David, and she has her children. She has Romeo, Cruz, and Harper, and they always sit in a line. And Brooklyn and Nicola normally always with them. Now, we have not seen them in quite some time.
That's right, because David Beckham just turned 50, and he had two big parties in Miami and London.
Exactly.
And the rift bubbled up to...
Now we're at like some massive standstill. So David turned 50 on May the 2nd. He had one big party in Miami to kick things off at the end of March at Cipriani downtown. Brooklyn was a no-show, which you would think is weird because Brooklyn and Nicola live in LA.
It's a domestic flight.
Yeah, and exactly. And work issues at the time, we were told, kept Brooklyn and Nicola from coming.
Maybe he was busy doing another photography book. Who knows?
Or his hot sauce. Anyway, so now we've had a whole week now in London with parties, with the family dinner, and then ending up in a massive party at a London restaurant in Notting Hill called Core, where they had the entire family. They had Eva Longoria, they had Tom Cruise, they had Ana de Armas, they had everybody turning up. Again, no Brooklyn, no Nicola.
So did Brooklyn and Nicola show up, and were they turned away? What are the details? It's a little muddy here that they wanted a private dinner with mom and dad, with Posh and Bex, and were denied that? So
there were reports on Monday that that's what happened, and obviously something's being fed from the Nicola and Brooklyn side to some places. Now they said, they turned up in London, and David refused to see them. I spoke to my Beckham sources who say that's complete nonsense. They didn't ask to see them, they didn't turn up, and they have not been to any family events in quite some time, and they called it appalling.
Wow. And there was another report that Posh said this is her worst nightmare, that this family rift is now fully public.
I would agree with that because Brooklyn and Victoria have always been super close. I mean, I interviewed Victoria a couple of years ago. I've known her for quite some time. And the last time I saw her, we sat down, and it was when Brooklyn had moved for his short-lived, shall we say, stint at college in New York. And she was almost in tears when she was talking about how her oldest baby had fled the nest. And she was so upset about it. They are really, really close, so I would think that would be correct.
Now, so Brooklyn and Romeo are feuding, but the details of why there's a rift are disputed. It might be over Romeo's new girlfriend, Kim Turnbull.
Yeah.
Is that right?
So again, that's been pushed out. When I've spoken to my really good Beckham sources, twice they've said over the last few weeks, it's nonsense. They've said, actually, Brooklyn and Rocco Ritchie went to the same high school in London, and it was Rocco Ritchie who dated Kim.
Oh.
So we're not quite sure what's going on and why this is being fed, but when I spoke to my sources, they said it's just yet another thing that's just being fed for no reason whatsoever.
Well, I can't wait to see where this goes. You know, obviously no family is perfect, as Brooklyn has said, but, you know, we love the Beckhams, and we want them all to get in the same room together and figure it out.
We do, and what's really good is that when I was speaking to my Brooklyn sources, At my Beckham sources as well, they said the thing to note is that they adore Brooklyn, and this is not how he was raised. It's not his normal behaviour, and they're really hoping that they can put an end to this soon.
Yeah, it sounds like a monster daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sarah.
No worries.
For more on the Beckham family drama, head over to page6.com and be sure to subscribe on YouTube.